In this video, I'm joined by my fellow PulseChain advocate and streaming partner in crime. This guy is everywhere all the time and continues to drop the alpha on crypto PulseChain and, of course, the soon-to-be PowerCity ecosystem. So with no further ado, Mr. Just Ask Jesse.
Hey, y'all. Hope you all are having a great evening, morning, afternoon. There's exciting
Good to
things
see you, man.
going on. Good to see you, Matt.
Good to see you. Last time you streamed, PulseChain wasn't out. It's out now. It's running. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I think it's running really great. There's lots of excitement. You see lots of new projects, some of them rugs, so you got to be careful, y'all. But there's a lot of legitimate projects also popping up here and there on PulseChain. There's various exchanges and payment services, some of which we're involved with to bring into Portal X. A whole bunch of stuff coming into PulseChain, which should help grow some adoption, get some new money flowing in, people chasing after those cheap, juicy, nearly free transactions, and we'll be off to the races.
For sure. We've got a lot of exciting things coming down the pipe very soon, but let's get the party started with Portal X. You just mentioned it. What's going on with that? What's going on with integrating PulseChain?
Yeah, so for those who are not aware, we have some partners that we've been working with for some time now, and that's Rubik and then also Change Now. There's a number of other bridging services that we work with as well to try and bring some adoption to PulseChain. These are our primary partners at the moment. Things behind the Pulse. By the way, Portal X is live. We've said it 100 times. It's live on 64 some blockchains right now for you to swap in and out of whatever you'd like to. For you to go revoke permissions, set limit orders, all these things. Okay. And the step that we're at currently is, well, we have to add PulseChain in, right? That takes some time. And behind the scenes, some of that is done. That's nearly ready to go. So in very short order, maybe a week, maybe less, you'll see this PortalXSwap.io update. PulseChain will be included, and you'll be able to bridge in and out of PulseChain from like 63 different blockchains. So that's what we're working on currently. Our partners and us have made this happen behind the scenes. There's a little bit more testing we have to do. We're working on some marketing and some educational content so that we can teach everyone how this works, get in some Twitter spaces here soon, and get the excitement going because now people can come in from all sorts of different chains straight into PulseChain. For those that don't know, fees flow basically into Pulse. Constant and continuous buy pressure of Pulse when people use Portal X Swap. And then that Pulse then feeds to the stakers of WAD and the core, and they're free to do whatever they want with that. Hold on to it long term, accumulate, swap, whatever they'd like to do. Right. So that's one of the benefits of coming directly to PortalXSwap.io. While there may be other bridging type services out there, this is one where nearly all of the fees flow straight into buy pressure for Pulse and then distributes that out to the community of believers who hold and stake Watt or Watt LP.
Yeah, lots of goodies with Portal X, and like you said, staking the Watt token. Let's definitely get into the core in a bit. But as you can see the screen here, I've got Portal X up. So if someone wants to get into PulseChain, it really is as easy as coming here, connecting your wallet, right, MetaMask or whatever you're using, and then selecting the blockchain that you want to go from. So let's say you want to go from Ethereum with some USDC, and then you could come down here, right, and select PulseChain.
Exactly.
What token you want to go into. Let's say you want to go into USDC on PulseChain, for example, and it's really as simple as that, right? And then clicking a few buttons, and it's there.
Correct. Yep. And this aggregator will scan for all the available routes to come into PulseChain. So it'll look at let's say Richard's bridge or any other bridge, and then our partners' bridges as well, such as Change Now, and it'll list all these available routes to get into PulseChain with the associated gas fee that you might have and the swap rate that you might get, right? And you get to select which one you want to take, which route you want to take.
But by default, it always gives you the most cost efficient way to do it compared to, doing it yourself or 5 or 6 swaps or whatever.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So PortalX is live. The link is there, portalxswap.io. You can use that now, and PulseChain is coming very, very soon. Make sure you're in our Telegram chat to be updated for the latest. Let's talk a little bit about the core, because I know we've touched on that before, but it's still, I think a lot of people that maybe don't know too much about it. Let's explain the core and how that works.
Yeah, so the core is essentially a staking platform. So you can own some Watt, you can buy Watt, or you can be an LP provider of Watt, and you can stake those LP tokens. The choice is yours. And when you stake those, either Watt or LP, you're then a shareholder of the fee collection, and the fees get distributed amongst all the stakers of Watt or Watt LP. Fees flow from people using PortalXSwap.io, for example, from 64 different blockchains. All that comes into Pulse. All those fees come into PulseChain. It pumps Pulse, distributes it out. Let's see, a portion of the fees from Earn Protocol. There's a position that's staked, some Earn that's staked into a contract that feeds the stakers of Watt. People can also use Earn Protocol directly, of course, stake Earn directly, but a portion of the staking fees goes straight to the stakers of Watt or Watt LP. We have other tools and services such as an amplifier auto compounder that has fees that flows into Watt stakers' hands. Pixel Park, you'll see fees flow from that into Watt stakers' hands. And so you got to be in the core. You got to hold some Watt, whether it's Watt LP paired to Pulse, for example, or it's just Watt, and you got to stake that. Now you collect the fees. Fees come to you in PXDC stablecoin, comes to you in possibly PulseX, Pulse, and a number of potential other things as well. As we continue to develop other things in the future, we could feed as many as maybe 10 different sorts of coins to the Watt stakers.
Yeah, just reiterating what you said, what's exciting about the core is if you believe in the PowerCity ecosystem and all the different dApps, you just stake your Watt token and then you collect all the fees in the system. But obviously there's more as well, right? Like you said, you can become an LP. Maybe we'll talk about the Zapper function and how easy that is to become an LP. Yeah.
So super easy here. And it interacts directly with PulseX. So it's the same contracts. It's the same as if you had gone to PulseX, navigated through a bunch of pages, bought, some Pulse, had some Watt, LP'd those together, taken the token contract number so you could see them in your wallet. You might have had to do 10 or 20 steps if you went to PulseX to do it. Well, the Zapper function does all that automatically for you. Right? So let's say you have some Pulse and you want to be an LP provider for Watt. You can just zap the liquidity in, and it's going to take essentially half your value, It's going to turn it into watt, and then it's going to take the whole sum of that, the pulse and the watt, and it's going to LP it, and immediately you'll have LP tokens, just as if you went through all the additional steps of going to PulseX and going through all those steps to do it. But here you can do it in almost one click. You got to put your quantity in there. Then you got to confirm the transaction, and you're done.
We've got a question here. Does the core get the higher percentage of fees opposed to providing liquidity?
Anybody providing liquidity through PulseX, V2 at least, is collecting fees. Those fees auto accumulate in your position, right? So if you have an LP token, whenever somebody swaps in or out, they're leaving essentially a little bit of dust behind in the pool. So when you withdraw your LP, you're collecting that extra dust that's been or the fees. It's not really small enough to be dust, but you're then withdrawing your excess fees that you've been earning while people have been swapping around. You know, no different. It doesn't matter if you've taken those LP tokens and you've staked them somewhere else. If you unstake those and then you go withdraw your LP, you're still collecting all the fees that have been accruing while people were swapping. That never changes. So do you get a higher percentage of the fees? Well, you get more, right? So check it out. If you just go to PulseX and LP, cool. You're sitting there. You're a liquidity provider. You're maybe accumulating fees, but you're not getting anything additional. That's it. You're just you're there. There's risk of impermanent loss. You're sitting there. You got Pulse paired to Watt, and people are trading through it. And whatever you're left with, you're left with. But in our system, it's very similar to like the incentive token side of things in PulseX. We also have an incentive process. So you can just simply take those LP tokens that are doing nothing for you, and you can stake those. Now you collect the fees from all of our different DAPPS, and you get a bonus for doing it. And that bonus comp is it's like a 50% bonus that compensates you for any impermanent loss. So you're collecting fees is what's happening. You're collecting fees from PulseX simply because you're an LP provider, but you're also collecting fees that people pay as they use all the DApps that we've created. So you're collecting fees kind of in two places.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like staking on steroids, right? You're getting multiple different fees, which is good. So the core's up on the testnet now. It's on V4. People can go and use that. Another thing that's on the testnet, which there's a lot of interest about, is the Earn protocol. Can we give an update on that? How's that coming along?
I love Earn protocol, right? We had so that went off to audit with Amnesia. Came back with some minor things to respond to. We did that. We sent it back to them. We're waiting for the final stamp of approval, which should come any day now. That doesn't mean we can just launch as soon as we get that. All right. There's like a price feed function through Fetch. For those that don't know what Fetch is, it's a completely decentralized Oracle price feed community, right? The community can provide prices through a whole consensus mechanism on PulseChain, right? That's not live yet. That was built by the people over at Liquid Loans. That's on testnet. It's working great on testnet. All the different validators or reporters is what they're called in Fetch are or have spooled up their nodes and are getting all their settings and everything right on testnet. whenever Liquid Loans decides, hey, it's time to launch that on mainnet, we're already, ready to go. We'll fire up our nodes as well to help contribute into that ecosystem. Other people will be doing it too. You're welcome to do it. You can all feed prices of Pulse and PulseX and everything else. But we'll also be contributing into that ecosystem. At that point, we can go live. So that could, I don't know when that is. That could be next week, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. We'll just have to wait and see.
Great, but we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's on that. So not too long. I know a lot of people are excited, as we can see here. One thing I forgot to mention actually about the core is a huge part of it, which is, if it's not exciting enough, is Pixel Park and the NFTs and how you can actually trade your stakes without even unstaking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the core, whenever you create a stake, it's an NFT. Some people are familiar with that through like the Icosa ecosystem or the Hedron Icosa ecosystem, where you stake through that, and now you have this thing that's an NFT. It's a transferable stake or an encapsulated stake. When you stake into the core, it's the same thing. You're staking your tokens, but it's essentially wrapping them up into an NFT that's now mergeable, tradable. You can go sell that on a secondary market, maybe for more than the underlying tokens that are inside of there, right? Maybe there's some cool JPEG attached. That's something different that we did because people like it and it's just fun. But our encapsulated stakes, while they have real like monetary value inside of them, such as some Watt tokens inside or some LP tokens inside, they actually have maybe some rarity factor to them. There's different tiers you can be in based on how many Watt you have staked. There's different images that might be more desirable than some, and maybe even the number of the stake itself, right? So if you get an interesting number like number 100 or number 5,000 or something, your stake could literally be worth more on a secondary market than if you ended your stake and tried to sell the tokens that were inside of your stake. Right? So there's that whole gameplay inside of our stakes.
And that's amazing. And how easy is it to sell that stake? Just for people watching at home, you literally put it on an auction on Pixel Park. Someone comes and bids, and then it goes to the winner of the
just
auction.
put it up for auction. You can have a minimum bid. You can accept offers and decline offers and all sorts of things, right? Sell it for whatever you want. But sell a $500 stake for $1 million if you want. See if somebody comes along and is willing to pay you for it because you have stake number 1, for example, and it's just maybe there's somebody really wants stake number 1. Who knows?
Exciting. It's great to have that option. If we're not doing enough, we can also touch on the amplifier, which is an automated front end for Earn, Liquid Loans, Liquidity. How's that coming along, and what is that for people that don't know what it is?
Yeah, so Amplifier takes Earn protocol. If you've seen Earn protocol or if you've seen Liquid Loans, right, everything is manual. So when you claim your rewards, you got to go in and you got to click a button. Now your rewards are liquid in your wallet. And if you want to place your rewards somewhere else, you gotta say, oh, I want to swap these into this and then restake over here. There's a number of steps you might want to do. But if you're the sort of person who likes to do the same thing over and over, like you've told yourself, hey, every day I'm going to claim my rewards and I want them to all turn into PXDC and put themselves back in, add themselves back into the stability pool. That's just one example. What Amplifier does is it does that all for you. You tell it ahead of time. That's how you want it to run. You activate the auto compounding, and it just does that for you. So that Amplifier is super powerful. It can do a lot of things within Earn protocol or liquid loans. They're both. It's a front end for either protocol, and it just automates anything you want it to do. If you look at Earn protocol now, people really love Earn protocol. What we recently decided to do was work on just merging it into Amplifier, where when you first show up to Amplifier, it's the basic Earn protocol, like you see, the basic front end. And when you want to activate all the additional features, you're just a couple clicks away, and then voila, you have a whole bunch of additional features that just turn themselves on. So we may not roll out Amplifier right away. It may come down to some timing where Earn protocol releases just as you see it now first. And then later, Amplifier, a couple weeks later or a month later, whatever that looks like. Or if the timing all lines up with fetch protocol and stuff, you may just see Amplifier launch, and it's got Earn inside of it. It's got the standard Earn that everyone's familiar with now from testnet already built inside of it. We don't know yet because the future's not here yet. So we're reliant on other things to launch before we know if we'll be able to make that happen in time.
Exactly. But I think first things first, Portal X is going to be integrating Pulse is, huge in PulseChain for onboarding, getting people into the community. And then from there, obviously, things are going to snowball from there. Listen, man, I want to keep this short and sweet today. It's been good to come on and touch on, obviously, what's going on, how close we are. It looks like Portal X is very, very close. And then obviously we have Earn, Pixel Park, and the Amplifier in the works at the moment. What should people do to stay up to date with what's going on with all the PowerCity ecosystem? Where should they go?
Well, they should go to our Telegram. I have a feeling that soon that Telegram is going to be popping with all sorts of questions. As we start launching these protocols and people start coming into play with them and do things, that's the quickest place to get some answers. As we get into some of these marketing things we're doing with Change Now and with Rubik and such, you're literally gonna see people come into our Telegram because maybe it's a requirement for them to do so, right? So that's kind of where we want everyone to be. Of course, when we have Twitter space, you'll see announcements and stuff show up on Twitter from time to time. And of course, whenever we have a Twitter space, we want everyone to come attend those. But if you want like live community-based information with, some of the founders and team members popping in throughout the day as well, constantly, that's going to be our Telegram, PowerCity.io.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse, for your time, and I look forward to having you back on, hopefully soon in the future when we have some more updates and some dApps that have launched.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Phil. See y'all.
Jesse dropping the alpha as always. And like he said, head over to t.me/PowerCity.io for the updates, the latest updates. And you can speak to many people in there who are bullish on the PowerCity ecosystem, as well as our admins and even our founders are in there helping out all the time. Thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you on the next one.